haven't seen her in forever, but every time that I have met with her, had drinks with her, crossed paths, she's always been a really nice person. And that's very hard to say when it comes to Hollywood. Hi, Angie.
Hi, Jenny.
Angie Everhart, you're here promoting Oralgen. How does it? You can do better
Oralgen.
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 Oralgen's new bright LED brightening technology.
Yes, it is.
And if it's any example of your teeth, then it's working.
It does work. It's, what I'm living now is it's all about health and beauty. Because I don't know if you knew that I had cancer.
When I was doing my homework, I read that you were diagnosed with thyroid cancer.
Yes.
How terrifying.
Yeah, you don't want to be. That's like the worst day of your life when somebody tells you that you had cancer.
Yeah.
And well, the doctor called me on the phone and said, they didn't even give me the face-to-face. Normally they give you a face-to-face.
Right.
Not this doctor.
I'd almost rather, just tell me now over the phone. Don't make me drive there, but I get it.
Well, I thought they always, made you come in, dun, dun, dun. But no, he called me on the phone and said, no, you have cancer. And so I gave myself a pity party. Anyway, so I don't put anything bad in my body, to say the least. So my husband has a nutritional food business. And now if I represent a company, it has to be
top notch.
It has to be. It does. And so they don't have any peroxide, and it's nothing that kills your enamel. And
that's what I was worried about because, a lot of times, like every time I drink hot or cold after I do one of those brightening things,
right,
it would make my teeth very.
There's no bleach, and it's not so it will not hurt because I'm very sensitive.
So they figured out how to whiten your teeth without causing pain.
Yes. And it has a little blue LED light, so if you have kids, they're going to love that too.
And then you just kind of stick it in your mouth and you press it. And how long do you hold it for?
Well, you can keep it in for about 20 minutes. You can do it for 2 weeks. And it's a 2-week period. My husband did it for an hour because he doesn't know how to follow directions. He left it in there for an hour, and I'm like, I came back in, he's like, and I'm like, oh, wow, I see you knew how to follow directions.
20 years ago, I think we met. And I don't even remember why or how we crossed paths. Could have been management. And you've always been sweet and wonderful. And then I hear and read that you had cancer. How does someone come out of something like that? How do you have the strength to get a diagnosis, to get through it, and then to carry on from there, especially someone who is in this business who had to file bankruptcy? How do you keep going? What motivated you?
Well, that's two different subjects, but I literally had one pity party. I had one of my girlfriends come over, which her, Tracy. She came over, and because my husband was out of town, and she brought over a bottle of Jack Daniels, and we sat down, and I had a pity party, and I told her everything that I wanted to say to my son, just in case something went wrong. And we literally had a pity party, and I cried it out.
Everybody needs a pity party.
I did. I cried it out. And I woke up the next day with a hellacious headache, and I said, fuck cancer.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I did. I was like, this is it. It's over. And my pity party was over, and I just said, let's get rid of it. Let's move on. And then it leaked out that I had it, and because I was ashamed of it. I really was. I don't know why. That's just how I reacted, and somehow it leaked out.
Right.
And because I was very quiet about it, and
understandably so.
Yeah, I was being private.
Yes.
And when it got out, people were overwhelmingly kind and generous with emotions, and it took a village to bring me out of my shell. And it was like a world hug that I got.
Oh, isn't that nice?
And it really was. And I needed it. I needed the hug. And I hadn't gotten a hug for a long time from the press.
Right.
From people coming out of the woodwork and even from the press. It was like hearing something nice and something well-wishing.
It's sad that it takes cancer to get those hugs.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what happened. And so I decided to make that my life mission, to pay it forward and to bring good things to the planet. And so that's why when I represent companies and when I do things now, it's to bring good.
You're paying it forward.
Yes.
So how long did it take for you did you go through chemo and radiation?
I was fortunate. I found my cancer early. I found it, I had a pain in my shoulder and went and had an MRI, and they said, sorry, there's nothing wrong with your shoulder, but you have a mass in your throat. And it was like,
I always think that guardian angels work in mysterious ways.
It's like going, like tapping me on the shoulder,
yes,
like, hey, now,
exactly.
There's something wrong with you over here, but it's not over here. It's right here.
There's so many people that I've learned that their lives were saved because they got an X-ray for something else, and they happened to see something else.
It was not my shoulder. There's nothing wrong with my shoulder.
And so, thyroid cancer, is that something that is? I don't know much about it. Is it? How many
controls
people?
Everything in your body, but you can live without it. Go figure.
You can. Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Go figure. But for anybody out there who does have thyroid cancer, and it's not in both sides, don't take it all out. And hear me clearly. Don't take it all out. It's the slowest growing cancer there is. Take one side out, leave the other side in, because it will change your life drastically, because you need your thyroid. Because you'll be tired. There's so many things that you need your thyroid for. Your body temperature,
metabolism.
You can't cool your body down. Your body doesn't cool anymore. So there's just so many different things that that change without your thyroid.
So you had to probably go through a lot of that hormonal changes.
So many things change. Like I can work out and my heart rate will skyrocket. And everybody else's is normal. And so I have to really be careful on what I do to regulate my system.
Were you diagnosed with hypothyroidism before?
No,
See, I was diagnosed with that.
Nothing.
And my hands are always cold.
Nope.
Interesting. Nothing. And did you get yearly checkups and everything?
I thought I was healthy, super healthy.
This is why I tell everyone for Valentine's Day, go and get a physical and do it for yourself. Do it for self-love.
I was always getting physicals and stuff like that. I found this by pure luck. Pure luck. That whoever was tapping me on the shoulder, thank you.
You're not kidding.
Thank you.
I want to move into another direction because you've been in the news, which I'm so proud of you for. I came out about Steven Seagal, and I came out 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And let everyone know what happened, because I said, you know what? I don't want 19-year-olds to be going through the same exact thing.
Right.
What made you speak out?
I was mad at something somebody said on the radio about how you should yell and scream, about how you should just yell and scream, and people will hear you, and I just happened to I was coming back from taking my son to school. And I picked up the phone and called the radio station. And how many times do you actually get through to the radio station?
Right. Never.
Never. And I got through on the first dial. Wow. And I said, look, I want to just say something. It's Angie Everhart. I want to say something about the Harvey Weinstein thing. And they put me right through, and I got on. Right on. I'm
so proud of you.
And then I said it, and I was like, what the did I just do?
Why? What was it with why? What the fuck?
Well, because first of all, my husband was like, you need to come out and say something. But I had the blessing of my husband. He was like, you need to say something, because it's a scary thing to do, to come out against Harvey Weinstein. It's still scary. It's he's a powerful guy, but I did say something 20 years ago.
Isn't that fascinating?
I did say something. I said it, and I screamed it then. And, I said it because when he said, you're a really nice girl, you're not going to say anything, are you? And I was like, ew, you're such a jerk. And I said, yes, I'm going to tell everybody. And I did. I told everybody, but they didn't care. Nobody cared. They were like, oh, that's just Harvey.
I have the exact same story.
It's just Harvey. So
no one cared.
Whatever.
But the thing is, I'm proud of you because you did speak up. You literally said, this is what happened. And everyone brushed it off as typical Hollywood behavior.
Yeah, they did. So
how much support are you getting now?
I haven't done, you're the first interview I've done. So There's a lot of support, and there's a lot of good happening for a lot of these women, and I'm really happy that women that I'm glad that there's change happening for women, and I'm glad that this is no longer acceptable for behavior for women.
That's right, and we're bringing up the conversation and making it safe for other girls.
And I'm glad that in today's society, that rape and exposure and all of these things are no longer acceptable. So yay for women.
Right.
And men, because it happens to men too.
It does.
Okay,
and
so
kids.
yay. So that's,
Did anybody else besides Harvey? You don't have to name them, but was it a continuous thing in this business?
I mean, that he's the craziest, but there's, I mean, he was one of the worst, but there was always people doing crazy stuff, but Harvey's one of the worst.
I'm so sorry you had to go through that. And I'm grateful that you spoke out again. Really. It takes courage because, like you said, he's got his spider webs, but I think he's going to jail. So I think justice finally will be served.
I just told the truth. So that's all I can do.
The truth shall set you free. Angie Everhart, thank you so much. I'm going to say it wrong, so help me out. Oralgen. It is a good time right now to get your gifts, so why not get Oralgens?
Please, you got it. You said it right.
Yes! New bright LED brightening technology. Angie Everhart, thank you so much for representing such a good product. Thank you so much for representing women speaking out. I really appreciate it.